How's this for intro music?
Very acceptable.
Charlie Hunter. Right on cue.
Get her done, son.
Well, let me introduce you to the people.
All right. Hey there, everybody.
You're looking at my friend Bruce Dragem.
Once again.
He's visiting here from Dover, Delaware. Got anything you want to say to the people?
Hello, people. Welcome from Dover, Delaware, once again. This is our second program, or second video. And Rich and I have been friends since we were about 17 years old.
Tell them how many years that is.
I can't count. I can do algebra, but I can't add and subtract. It's about
I think
40
it's
years.
More than 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, since right around 68.
Right.
67, somewhere in there.
Right.
You haven't changed much.
Thank you.
You're still thin and wiry.
I am. Why is that?
You choose to be that way. As opposed to other people that choose not to be that way. And
I went to my doctor's office a couple weeks ago.
what did you do there?
He was telling me the results of my blood test.
And did you pass or fail?
I passed.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that. You had this
Potassium.
goal and you were trying to work it.
Oh, that's a different story. But when I was talking about my blood test, I said, everything looked good? And he says, yeah. I said, how about my potassium?
More bananas.
And he said, it's fine. And I said, well, I'm glad to hear that, because the last test 6 months ago was high. And he said, well, it looks good now. And I said, well, that just goes to show me that the reason it's lower is because I started eating all low potassium foods.
That makes good sense.
And he said, yes. And then I said, that means that my health, in this case here, is the result of something I did. Whereas a lot of people think that their health is what happens to them, not what they do.
Right, you're an active participant.
And he said, I wish all my patients thought that way. And I said, well, you got a poster in the lobby of your building that says the most important factor that governs your health is, and then
you. Well, I like that. That's very accurate. It's
Yeah.
very accurate. As opposed to DNA or hormones or parental guidance or genes.
chance.
Chance.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, if as we've gone through life, all of our life is a combination of partly what we do and partly what happens to us.
Subject to the environment.
Correct. Now, for example, you live in Dover, Delaware, as a result of what happened to you after you joined the Air Force.
However, that was a choice.
And you made a choice, yes.
I made that choice to stick around.
I mean, you probably could have chosen other locations too.
Could have come back to Buffalo.
Did you have a spot waiting for you?
In Buffalo?
Yeah.
No, not specifically. No, probably could have hung out at Mom's house for a while, but no.
Oh, you weren't married at the time, were you, when you settled in Dover?
Oh, well, yes and no. No, I'll just say no.
You weren't living with a woman.
I had a wife, but
You had gone your separate ways.
yeah, she decided to come back to Buffalo.
Maybe that's the reason
So,
you
well,
didn't.
you can go. I'm good with that. B.B. King's dead.
Yes, he is. For a while there, they thought he was poisoned.
I heard about that, but I don't know the results of the investigation, so I don't know.
Now, did B.B. King play an important role in your life?
Probably unconsciously.
You ever see him perform?
No, I have not.
I have. I have gone. He's one of the few people I've seen in concert.
Ooh. You're not a concert goer.
I'm not like you.
Yeah, you're more of a.
I'd say you've gone to.
You're a recluse.
I'd say. I would say you've gone to 100 more concerts than me.
Well, not even quite 100 than anybody. Probably
Well, I've only been
20 or 30.
I've only been to 2, so you
Right.
probably have been to more than that. Guess who the second concert was?
B.B. King's second concert?
No.
Oh,
One
your
was-
second
one
concert.
was B.B. King.
Right.
What do you think the second one was?
Well, You know, that's a difficult guess.
Although you'll be pleased when I tell you.
Jim Morrison and the Doors.
He never came to Buffalo, I don't think. I don't think the Doors, I mean, after he died, the Doors came to Buffalo, but not with Jim Morrison.
Oh, they didn't want to bring his corpse.
Stand alone on the stage.
Hello?
No, it was Eric Burdon and the Animals.
Oh.
I saw them when they came to Buffalo.
I heard about it on the radio, and they were staying at like a Holiday Inn off of Dingens or someplace.
Well, that was in the 60s.
Yeah.
I went to see him in the 80s.
All right.
Yeah. When they tried to reform, you know. You know, a lot of...
Is he still alive?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. He's very active in music, too.
Well, I think the last person I saw was Neil Diamond. Before that was Steely Dan, and before that was the Eagles. And the Eagles are going to be in Buffalo in July, and the Rolling Stones will be in Buffalo in July. It's on the news on the way in.
Do you recommend that anybody who likes the Eagles should go see the Eagles? Or, I mean, are they the
Excellent.
same?
Excellent.
Oh, so you don't lose, there's no fall off from what they used to be.
No, they've matured, and they're right on the money. Hot, 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 hot.
So they weren't singing off key or anything. You can verify that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially Joe Walsh. He's hot. Right on the money. One of the best concerts. You got to get a shirt, too. I should have wore it, Eagles. But next time.
It has this logo?
Yeah, it's got them on it, and yeah.
Yeah.
And I went to see Neil Diamond just because I didn't want to miss him before he died.
Now, don't you always try to get a T-shirt whenever you go to a concert?
Yeah. Just a momentum. Yep.
Now, do you save them or do you wear them?
Both.
Some are so precious that you don't.
Well, the Neil Diamond one is so loud, I'd probably need a permit. But the Eagles is really green, and it's nice, easy. It's not flashy, but Neil Diamond's got a big picture of him all over the shirt. And so, I think that's too flashy. I'll just put it on the wall. And there was very few choices. That they were all flashy. So can't you have something a little more subtle? Just tone it down a little.
Did Neil sing all the hits?
I believe he did. And some of the music was pre-recorded from like an orchestra kind of scenario, because he didn't have a full orchestra with him.
Now, I've heard that a certain age group of women find him irresistible. I don't know if they're in their 50s or something. Did you notice there was a certain demographic at the Neil Diamond concert?
They were generally all mature people.
Oh.
I mean, physically mature people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, my lady friend saw him, and she loves him. Hot, 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 hot. And he's recently married last year, maybe 2 years ago, to a good-looking blonde lady.
Did he marry somebody in his age bracket?
No, probably about 20 years younger than him.
How far would you say in your opinion, is a respectable gap between the ages of?
I would say what I heard was the national average would be 4 years. However, something within 10 years is acceptable range. Who knows?
Are you saying you could be looking for trouble if you go beyond 10 years?
Well, as a man, and if you are hooked up with a woman that's significantly younger than you, your chances are good that you'll get dumped. See you later. I still got a few years to go.
That's putting it quite bluntly.
I do that. Sorry. But all good intentions. I mean, it's not slanderous or nasty. It's just bottom line.
You're just telling it like it is.
Absolutely.
Do you always try to tell the truth around people?
Oh, yes.
What happens if it's unpleasant?
Well, you got to use a lot of tact. Yeah, I mean, you play it by ear. You can take them aside, talk to them one-on-one, and ask them how they feel about the scenario and make comments. Or you just do like what Greg said about a certain somebody. Now, I'm going to make a comment, and I won't mention names. But there was someone that someone was working with, and that person said about a certain someone that said to them, what do you say? He said, like, you have no respect for human beings. So, without mentioning names, you know who I might be referring to.
No, I don't.
A relative of mine.
Okay, you narrowed it down significantly. Okay.
Well, now you know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
So I won't make, because that person might see this and take offense to it.
And you're a man of peace.
Generally speaking,
You try to maintain the peace whenever possible.
Blessed are the peacemakers.
Okay.
Scripture says, blessed are the peacemakers.
Well, the reason I asked you about telling the truth is because it leads into an interesting phase of...
I'm reading it the wrong way. Oh, wait a minute. This is the Ventures, right?
I think this is the version by the Pyramids, who did it before the Ventures.
Oh, this is excellent. Oh, this is so good.
Thank you. If somebody has a belief and you are of the opinion that the belief is in error, are you helping them by pointing out the flaw in their belief? Because I think you are.
Somebody told me once, we all live our illusions.
Correct. But does a friend point out your illusion?
I think that's the right thing to do.
I do too, so we're in agreement.
I mean, just throw it on the table and see what, I mean, like, what do you think? You just throw it on the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
It's like throwing darts.
Yeah, because just the other day somebody was talking about coffee. And they said, hey, it's just the juice of a bean. How could that be bad for you? And then I said, because I thought that person was in error, I said, well, have you ever met anybody who tried to stop drinking coffee and then they started having headaches or lethargy or insomnia? You can actually get insomnia when you try to stop coffee. Well, I have known 3 people, right, who tried to stop drinking coffee, and they went through all these symptoms. Well, to me, that is the brain's way of saying, hey, you made me dependent on this, and now you're going to pay for it, for me to readjust.
Makes good sense.
And so that was the reason I had to point that out as a way of saying, I don't think it's healthy.
All things in moderation.
I don't know if there is such a thing as moderate coffee.
The last time I had a cup of coffee was about a year ago.
Ah.
I generally don't. However, I would, but I really just don't care about coffee.
Uh-huh.
But some research states that a reasonable amount of coffee is not going to hurt you. It's actually good for you. For whatever they said about it, certain things. Coffee's good, coffee's this, coffee's that. But I think if you have a cup of coffee, if you have anything, just once in a while, it's not going to bother you. You don't grow any dependence. You don't spend a lot of money. Just have a beer once in a while, fine.
Can a person have a dependence on weed?
Absolutely. They're called potheads.
And
That's because they wear this pot, and that way everybody knows that they're a drug smoker.
now, have you ever met one of these people? Is that what you do when you get around them? You run away?
I've got one or two friends that are of that nature. They're dependent. That's a natural, standard way of life to smoke a joint or bowl or whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, sometimes they don't drink. Like I got a friend who almost died once or twice because of alcohol, but he smokes pot instead. He just stays away from the alcohol. So we have our vices.
So you could say he replaced one vice with another vice.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. One almost killed him and one doesn't.
What do you think of that picture in a picture?
I just got a pic. Oh, there it is. Whoa. You didn't show me that last time. That's kind of cool.
I did, but I don't think you remembered it.
Sometimes I think I wouldn't mind just operating everything, and then you just do all the interviewing, and I can concentrate on the controls.
That would be possible. That would be very possible.
We could do that.
You could be like the engineer. For the
Exactly.
show. Yeah. And of course, if something came up, you could throw your 2 cents in.
Yeah, just like to do the off-screen, like the radio stations, like Rush Limbaugh is always talking to his guy who answers the phone as the engineer part of it.
Yeah.
Snerdley.
That's his name?
Yeah, and he always talks with Snerdley, but you never see Snerdley.
Do you ever hear his voice?
No, you don't hear him. But Rush Limbaugh talks to him, and he's like he answers the phones and pre-qualifies the people that are on the phone.
He does the call screening.
Yeah, call screening. And then Snerdley will do something, and Rush will respond like, "What are you talking about? I heard you back there." He'll just...
Oh, Snerdley's free to disagree with Rush?
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure. You need a little bit of controversy. Keeps the ball rolling, keeps people interested in activities.
Do you think that Rush has some important things to say?
Absolutely. Without a doubt. You just cut me off?
No, I just was shocked to hear you say that.
Well, ask another one. I'll shock you again. I mean, sure. I think Rush Limbaugh is extremely knowledgeable. And I think he really plays the field very well. I don't think he's correct all the time, but he's probably one of the most knowledgeable people that's on the radio waves. However, he does tend to beat a dead horse, and that kind of gets under my skin a little bit. Just over and over and over. And Sean Hannity does the same things. Enough already. We got the message. We're picking up what you're laying down. Just let's move on.
Where did the phrase beat a dead horse come from?
That's a good question.
I have my theories.
That's something we should look up. Beat a dead horse.
Well, we were talking earlier in the night about Russian novelists.
I gotta write this down. Write it down versus write it up? I don't know. Write it up. That's a write-up. What was it? What is it now?
Earlier in the night, we were talking about...
What is it? Beat a dead horse.
Beat a dead horse, yeah.
This
tell the people what it is you're doing.
B-E-A... Oh, man. These pens are non-functional.
Well, that's because people use them, and then they say it doesn't work, and they leave them in the cup.
Well, I just threw those two out.
I'm glad you did. So you did the right thing.
They dry out.
Yeah.
But they don't dry up. They dry out. Oh.
I think Beat a Dead Horse is from a Russian novel called...
We got 7 minutes.
All right. What is it called again? Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky.
I've heard that name before.
And there's a scene, I believe that's the novel. There's a scene where the guy wants the horse to go, and the horse will not go and pull the cart. And he keeps whipping and whipping and whipping until the horse dies, and then he still keeps whipping them. It's a very moving scene.
I'll have to look this on. Look this up? No, I'll have to research this.
Here's one you're going to like from the 1980s. Uh-oh, it brings back a bad memory. I can see it in your face.
No, I'm just trying to determine who it is. Because, you know, when I hear songs, I like to just tell you who it is. I've heard it before. Yeah, this is almost like a disco tune.
Yes, it's from that era. This could even be the 70s.
No.
80s?
Yeah. Yeah, this is John Travolta era, lip sync.
What did you think of that era? You lived through it.
I like it.
You like the disco era?
Absolutely.
So you've been to discos.
Oh, the chicks are hot. Guys look good. I mean, there's a lot of action. It's like a fun time. It was.
Did you prefer the disco era to the punk era?
I don't recall a punk era.
Ah.
So if it was there, I didn't see it.
You didn't actually participate in that scene.
No. Like the Sex Pistols and all that?
Yeah.
Well, I knew they were out there, but they just didn't move me. Is this Hughes Corporation?
It's a song called Machine Gun.
Okay.
But it doesn't give the title. It doesn't give the name of the band.
It's an instrumental.
But whoever wrote it, whoever performed it, is very good at syncopated, on the beat.
There you go. That's what mixing's all about. You got to get those beats right.
Yeah.
I experimented with that. I was fair. I was good, but I was not perfect.
Did you ever do any record scratching?
No, that was not my style. It's not part of my personal culture.
Mm-hmm.
That was
because some DJs
that was their culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
What if somebody in the audience said, "Hey, do some record scratching"?
I said, "Well, here's a record. Scratch away." It's like if someone walks into a pizzeria and says, "I'll take a slice of cheese." When I worked in a pizzeria, I gave him a slice of cheese.
Ah.
You want a slice of cheese? Here you go.
Well, my friend said, you know, my father opened up a pizzeria, his lifelong dream. So I said, what's the address? I'll go and I'll buy from him. So I went there and I bought it. And since it was like his first or second day in business, he had never heard this pizzeria joke. So I decided I said, I'll have a small pizza to go.
Oh, I know who this is. This is Kool and the Gang. This is Kool and the Gang. Oh, the name of it. No, I know. I've heard this many times. This is a song that you never heard much about with Kool and the Gang, but I believe this is a Kool and the Gang tune.
So I go in there and I said, I'll have a small pizza to go. And I said, are you going to cut that in 8 or 6 pieces? He said, it's up to you.
Makes sense.
I said, you better make it 6 because I don't think I can eat 8. He had the same reaction.
That was funny.
So he had the same reaction. I thought, great, I just made this guy's day with an old pizzeria joke.
That was a good joke. I like that.
Thank you.
Tell me the name of this tune.
Summer Madness.
Kool and the Gang.
Oh, I can give you a Freudian joke. Would you like to hear a Freudian joke?
All right, I'll listen.
Now, Freudian jokes are not funny, but they're supposed to make you think.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it goes like this. Father says to his son, son, you're 16 years old, and it's about time that I have my little talk with you about the facts of life. He says, but who's kidding who? He said, you probably know about it anyway.
Pay taxes and die.
He says, so I'll tell you what. Here's $50. I want you to go down to Madame Fifi's and have sex with one of the women there. Kid says, thanks, Dad. So he takes the $50, puts it in his pocket. Father says, come on back and tell me what it was like. So the kid walks off out of the house. He's walking down the street. He turns the corner. He's walking. He has to go past his grandmother's house. She's sitting on the porch. She says, "Sonny, where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to Madame Fifi's. Gonna have sex for the first time. My dad gave me 50 bucks." Grandmother says, $50? You don't want to go there. I mean, how do you know? You might catch something, you know. He says, "Yeah, but Grandma, I want to learn about life." She says, "Come on in the house with me and I'll teach you about life." So he goes in the house and he has sex with the grandmother. Kid comes home. Father says, "How did it go, son?" And he goes, "Pretty good." And he pulls the 50 bucks out of his pocket. And the father says, "You didn't have to pay?" He says, "No, I didn't have to pay." He goes, "That's my boy. You're amazing. Great." He said, "Well, I didn't have to pay because I went past Grandma's house and she asked me to come in the house and have sex with her." Father puts his head in his hands, puts it down, and he says, "I can't believe you had sex with my mother." And you know what the kid said? He said, "Relax, Dad. You do that all the time to me."
Fuck me.
No,
No?
it's his father. So the father's making love to the kid's mother.
Oh,
See?
I didn't get it then.
Well,
All right.
It's not a funny joke because, you know, Freudian jokes are you're supposed to think about it.
So I can't believe you had sex with my mother, and he says the same thing. Well, you have sex with my mother.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Sorry, a little slow on that one, but I picked it up.
Okay.
We have 3 minutes remaining, sir,
All right.
according to your...
In the show, how many more years in our lives?
I don't understand the question.
Well, what's your what is that called? Speculation.
Oh,
How many more years you got to live?
Oh, well, I'm thinking probably around another 20 to 25 years.
How many of those 25 years are going to be vibrant? And how many are going to be tired and hurting and bedridden?
That's a strange question.
Well, the reason I'm asking it, sir, is because people often talk about how long someone lived.
If I keep drinking this stuff, I'm...
That's right. People talk about how long someone lives, but they don't talk about the quality of their life.
Well... I've heard this before, too.
I do know who this is by.
Oh. This is some good stuff.
I thought you might like it.
I've heard this many times. You like that, huh?
Yes.
Can I do one of these?
Yeah, that's your mind taking flight.
Are you calling me an airhead?
No. I'm calling you a modern day Icarus.
Ooh. Can I sell it?
Icarus's father was named Daedalus, and his father was a great sculptor. And he said, "For your birthday, son, I've made you a pair of wings out of wax."
Oh, the guy who tried to get to the sun or something like that.
He flew too high,
He flew too high.
and the sun melted his wings.
I've heard that story. Yeah.
How does it apply to our lives?
Well, you can shoot for the moon, but stay away from the sun.
Well,
Is that good?
that's different.
Show's over.
Okay, let's fade her out.
But we gotta listen to the rest of the song.
Okay.
I gotta think of who this is. Is it Pat Metheny?
No. You want me to tell you, or you want to guess again?
No, I'm gonna ponder.
I was surprised when I found out who it was by. How come it shut off?
Oh. Maybe it was the end of the recording.
No, it means that I didn't get the whole song.
Oh, I've heard it.